right here.
Featuring Eric.
Eric, he is a bad, bad man.
Special K.
The big red K.
Are you threatening me?
I'm waiting for you.
And Sam.
I am a wuss! I am a wuss!
You've waited long enough.
How the heck do you pronounce this woman's name?
Roula. And Ding Dong. Ryan. 104.1 KRBE.
Well, good
morning.
morning, Houston, Texas. It is Monday, December the 11th of 2023 at 5:59 and 59. Now it's 6 o'clock on the dot.
6
With Roula, Ryan, and Special K. Eric and Sam are out today. And we're kicking off another week. You know, I forgot back when my kids were still in preschool. My friends still have kids in preschool. They're like, oh my God, it's only like a 2-day week or a 3-day week, depending on when your kids go to school. I'm like, oh wow, we're already there now.
A lot of schools getting out this week.
Well, like I don't know about the main ISDs. I think they go, we're off this year. Like, I think like if HISD is off.
Let me look that up
This
real quick.
Friday, then the other ISDs are off next Friday. Some are off this coming Friday. Some are off next Friday, which means some go back January 3rd or 4th, and some go back January 8th. So, but now we begin like with a little like Mother's Day out type situations in the pre-Ks and the preschools. Like this is their last little week of doing their cutesy stuff, and then they're like, "Bye, see you, we're out. It's Christmas time, bye-bye."
Nice.
So yeah, today is
It's cold out there when you get up.
I love it.
38 degrees.
I love it.
No, that's way too cold.
No, it's good.
I had frost on a windshield.
I did too.
Well, Kevin, it melted off right here in the studio because again we're at 100 degrees. That's
Yeah.
good times.
Yeah,
Yay.
Fun.
it's only been a week. No need to fix the air conditioning
I think it's
in here.
been longer than that. I'm kind of blown away because we really did have a crane put a new piece of equipment on top of
The building.
I know.
Apparently, it was not a good
just
piece.
recently.
And I didn't dive deep enough into the email to see if our management heard from management of the building to find out why is this happening now?
Yeah.
Why is this? What is the reason for this? Why are we boiling?
Right.
I don't know, but
Maybe we should move to that gallery location.
Yeah. You walk in the door and you're like, ugh.
Oh, you know what? When I worked for this company as my first radio job in like 2002, they were
You're saying
in
this company that we work for now, or just a company?
Cumulus.
Okay, Cumulus. Okay.
Yeah, I worked in that really tall post oak building because one of our stations was before they bought KRBE.
That was like the 23rd floor, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was so awesome.
Oh,
You
wow.
could see
Your
to
view was
Galveston. I
great.
swear to God, you could see all the way down there. It was the most beautiful view, and I don't think I could get any work done. I'd just be like, that's so beautiful.
Fort Bend ISD is getting out this Friday, according to one of our texters, and Lamar ISD is going back on
Okay.
Friday.
Trying to
I think
find
getting out on
HISD.
Friday. HIC I don't think is out till the next. But anyway, I'm just saying it's the beginnings of that. It's beginning to look like holiday
I haven't even
vacation
started.
break.
I've not even started Christmas shopping, and this is so rare. Usually, I've got it long done by now. It's just been a busy year.
It's not like you have 17 kids you need to shop for. So
No,
your
but
time
you
is
know, I'm talking
crunchy.
like family,
crunching
girlfriend,
time.
all those kind of things. You're like, I've got to come up with all that stuff, and
Isn't every day that you're here a gift? Oh. Anyway.
oh my God, y'all, I cannot get the bad taste out of my mouth. I watched, so the number one movie on Netflix is Leave This World with Julia Roberts and, you know, big cast of
Is
characters.
that a different algorithm? Like, is your number one my number one?
I don't know.
No, it's the number one movie. You know, the algorithm is picks your top 10 or your suggested, but the top 10 is the top 10. The number one movie right now, it dropped on Friday, was Leave This World. Y'all, the worst movie I've ever sat through in my life. You are
It
waiting
can't be
for...
worse than the other ones you said were the worst.
No, Rula, you're waiting for 2 solid hours to get an answer, and then movie just ends. What?
This is why I fast forward through
What
movies.
happened?
Or
What?
I
Oh my
read
God,
them.
it's over?
Really,
and
just
they
turn it off.
And they
Yeah,
explain
just like,
nothing?
I'm done.
Oh,
I also saw a bad movie. And I think it's called Fool's Paradise.
that's an old one, yeah.
What's that? Who's that about?
Was that an old
Is
one?
that Matthew McConaughey's in it?
I don't think so. It was Charlie Day, and I think it was a Hulu movie. And the doctor from Masked Singer, Ken Jeong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Fool's Paradise. It's
Fool's
a comedy.
Paradise, yeah.
It's got Ray Liotta, Kate Beckinsale, John Malkovich, Adrian Brody,
Has a lot of
Jason
good,
Sudeikis.
good names in it, but it was kind of dumb. It's about this dude who reverts to being 4 years old or having the intelligence of a Labrador, and he's mute.
Oh my God.
And they start putting him in movies and politics, and since it's in Los Angeles, people never shut up and even would give him a chance to speak anyway. So they're just kind of agreeing for him for everything that he's doing. So, it was kind of cute but stupid as well. Arizona is what I want to see because
Arizona, what's
it
that
came up on my Hulu, and it has the guy who writes for. I can't
you
think of anything.
Give me a hint. Give me a hint. Give me a hint. You
No.
gotta give me a guy who writes for what?
So he wrote Eastbound and Down,
Oh, that guy. Yeah, that's funny.
and also the Gemstones.
What's his name? Oh my God, we're having brain fart.
I know it's a rough
Curly
Monday.
hair. Oh my God, what's his name? Why are we having brain? We all know him. He's the son, right? He's the oldest son.
Danny
right? Just
McBride.
Danny McBride. Yeah.
So
Danny McBride wrote it?
McBride is in this. It's an older film called Arizona, but he writes some really funny
I
stuff.
saw that years ago. Yeah, that's not new.
No, that's what I'm saying. All these things are showing up on my Hulu, and I don't know why, but I'm okay with it because I never got to see them.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's old is new.
Yeah.
Remember I used to do the 18-month movie review? I would watch a movie 18 months after it was out. I'm like, oh, that's a good movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Here, I've showed up.
And you know, one of my TVs, I don't have it connected to any service. It's just the smart TV apps. Like that's what I'm going to get. So I got to pick whatever. Unless I want to, and I don't want to sign in on anything. I'm just like over it. The remote is not tap friendly. It doesn't have a keyboard. You have to actually.
Oh, I hate it. We got to do the search.
Yeah, so I just go to whatever's already up. YouTube.
Right.
Usually YouTube is like one of the first apps. So I was like, all right, well,
YouTube.
is there any movie on? My husband got we have a subscription for YouTube TV.
Oh, my mom has that.
Yeah, so you could just go down to live TV or whatever. Anyway, so basically, as far as I'm concerned, this TV only plays YouTube because I'm too lazy to crack into anything else. And Notting Hill was an option. So it's like, I haven't seen Notting Hill probably since it came out with
I
Julia
don't think
Roberts.
I ever saw that ever.
Yeah, it's one of those movies, Kevin. We did a bit one time for guys to call in and say what is their favorite romantic comedy. Like, it's okay to admit that if you liked one.
Like a rom-com.
Which one do you like? Notting Hill was number one for men. Notting Hill.
What year do you think that came out?
Oh, God,
Oh,
what
it's
year?
gotta be
Maybe
20
98
years,
or
at
99, maybe 2000. I'm not sure. But it's with Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts. He lives in England and he stumbles upon the most famous actress in the world.
99.
The most.
99.
I'm going to guess it was it 99?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, I was like, I haven't seen this in a long time. It's actually pretty good. It held up. It was good. I liked it.
The new Fargo TV show is really, really
YouTube?
good. That might be that's on Hulu as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, I don't have a
And-
Hulu subscription.
Well, I got to do something to get the taste out of my mouth. Like, it was the worst movie I've ever sat through.
Why?
I don't know why. You know, you get so
Can't you
invested.
just watch something at the end, like find like a repeat of The Office that you love so much and go
Yeah.
to sleep before with that on your
Oh,
mind?
it was so long. It was like,
Yeah.
oh my
And
God.
there's no solution at
It
the
just
end.
kept going on and on and on. All these weird things happening. Why are there deer
Well, then you must
everywhere?
have less
Why is
ADD
somebody's
than me,
teeth
because
falling out?
if
and
I
then you
was
get
watching
no
that and,
answer.
like-
It just ends.
Yeah, if I'm like halfway through, or if I notice that I'm bored or getting frustrated, I don't sit around anymore. I'm like, I'm not in the theater.
Yeah, but you get to that point where it's like, oh,
Well, I would at least
gotta
look
be
it up,
committed.
Brian.
I gotta
I'd at
find
least
out what
look it up
happens
and be
now.
like, what's going to happen now? I got to look it up and I'm out.
Hey, text, if anybody saw it over the weekend, the world was it Leave This World with Julia Roberts? Oh my God. Am I the only one? It was just like, I know they're trying to be all artsy and everything. And the camera angles make you nauseous. Like, I mean, it's just, I got motion sick watching
This
it.
is definitely something I never need to ever even.
No,
click on.
you don't. You wouldn't make it 2 minutes
Yeah,
into
there's
this.
no way. I've walked out of movies so many times. I'm over it. I'm like, this is not worth my time. I have other things to do. Bye. I'm just like, I'm gonna leave.
So it was along the lines of Bird Box?
Oh, it makes Bird Box look like a masterpiece.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, oof. Yeah, this
In
is
Bird
bad.
Box and The Quiet Place, they don't talk at all, right? Or is it they can't see in Bird Box?
The Quiet Place, they definitely
They don't
talked.
talk.
No, they talked, but really soft.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't because
Well,
that
right,
was the
because you can't. Because that's how the monsters
were going to get you. You had to be really quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
What sucks
But-
is when you get like a really like amazing cast, like they're all phenomenal actors and actresses, and then you're just like, what? How did they agree to do this?
You were thinking of Fool's Gold, Ryan. Somebody said you
Fool's
were-
Gold.
with
That's
Matthew
right.
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
All right. Okay. Coming up next in Celebrity Scoop, there was a huge deal that was signed over the weekend that transcends all genres of entertainment. Nobody has made as much money in one deal as this person now. So we'll talk about that. Here's your official weather for today.
It is going to be a gorgeous day. Sunshine, a high of only 63, but it's chilly out there right now. 38 degrees. Grab a jacket. Right now it is 6:09 on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Ladies and
and gentlemen,
Please welcome
Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop.
104.1 KRBE.
It is brought to you by Innovative Lasers of Houston. And when it comes to contracts for TV shows or movies or trilogies or, you know, anything entertainment, nothing pays like sports pays. It just really doesn't. Nothing pays like sports pays.
Okay.
And from what I've learned from being a fan of sports and just having people in my world who are athletes, baseball is the way you want to go as a professional athlete because it is the most ironclad of contracts. If you're a professional football player and you make news for signing a $100 million deal, that's not guaranteed money. And if something happens to you, it's over from the second it happens to you, depending on how your contract plays out. Basketball gets the big money too, but the same thing is not guaranteed. Baseball has guaranteed money. Now, soccer is a whole other stratosphere because last year the news came down that the biggest deal in global history ever signed was just for one season of work. One season, not a multiple year deal. It was Kylian Mbappe. He went from Paris, from the French club Paris Saint-Germain, to Saudi Arabia for $1.1 billion.
Whoa.
For one season. For one season.
Just for one season.
Was that of soccer?
Soccer, yes.
Football.
Now, they paid out a $332 million transfer fee to Paris Saint-Germain, and his actual salary for the one season coming up is $776 million. Oh,
my God.
That kind of stuff does not happen in the States.
Well,
no way it would happen in the States
there's a
for
guy-
one season.
Oh, for one season.
Shohei Ohtani made
$700
world news
million
yesterday because he has signed a 10-year deal for $700 million, which makes him the highest paid single season player in the history of the sport. And so
that's my question, though.
He's 35% of what the Dodgers are worth now.
So he signs a 10-year deal with the Dodgers.
And he's
$700
going to get
million.
all that money.
So is that no cut? Like, say he gets injured
whether he
tomorrow.
plays or not, he is getting $700 million.
So he's
from
walking
the
down the
Dodgers.
street and a car drives by, clips his arm, and he still gets paid.
Well, I mean, depending on how they decide to do their legal lingo, that's usually the thing.
Whoa.
You're getting that money no matter what. So that's why there have been so many sports athletes that we have been fans of or not fans of. And I'm not saying here in Houston alone, just in general, that people are like, well, every time they sign that person for a lot of money, they've got like problems in the next season, or they were out on their butts on the bench because they had an elbow problem or a knee problem or a herniated disc.
Well, fans
somewhere.
get really irritated because, if they use up most of the team's salary to get one player and he's injured the whole season, then they have to give up so much and the rest of the team sucks.
Shohei Ohtani is 29 years old. And he signed a $700 million deal.
Wow.
And I wonder, what does that do for the rest of the team? You know, because their one main guy, if you follow any baseball at all, especially Dodgers, because the Astros have had such history with them, Clayton Kershaw is like their big name guy. And he's a free agent.
What's he at?
He's a free agent.
So what does that mean?
So here you are thinking, maybe I'll renegotiate my contract. Let's see what they offer me. And then the news comes down. They gave this guy $700 million.
Well, what they're
you don't
hoping
think the exit's coming soon?
is that they become a real serious player of a team again. You know, the Dodgers really want to get back into it. This is saying, hey, we really want to be a contender again.
And this one dude's going to do it for him for $1 billion.
$700 million, but
Close to that.
they're hoping.
Mike Trout had the previous total record of $426.5 million deal. Justin Verlander, of course, in the Astros, and Max Scherzer were tied for number one in the average annual value of their salary at $43.3 million. But Shohei Ohtani's average overall salary per year is $70 million.
Wow. Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
So, like I said, I want my boy to keep playing baseball. Let's go, MJ. Let's go, MJ. It's pretty unbelievable how much money they have.
It is. I mean, that means you need wealth management.
Yeah. I want to know how, because here's the thing, you have to have an agent to make that deal happen, right? Because it's
Of course,
a
you're
lot
not
of
going to
back
be
and
able to
forth
do
with
that.
the suits.
These teams
And at
have
what point?
corporate lawyers,
Yeah, of course.
dozens and dozens.
Well, the teams do, but also for you yourself are represented by somebody. So at what point does the guy representing Shohei Ohtani say, you know what? Nobody's ever paid this much for a ball player. We're going to just go for the gold.
Not baseball.
Let's just throw a number up there. And a ball player for U.S. sports, never has anybody made this money. Never. He is now the highest paid person. So I want to know the strategy behind that. I get into the science of that kind of stuff. I would like to see a special on, well, I'm the agent for Shohei Ohtani, and we were having lunch one day, and over some frozen yogurt, we thought we were going to ask for $800 million, and we landed at $7 million.
Wait a second,
You know
though.
what I mean?
Didn't how much did Messi get paid?
He was like in the 400s.
Oh, really? I thought
he's
he was
not
like
higher.
$1 billion.
Shohei Ohtani, 100% is the highest paid U.S. player because Messi is Miami now.
Yeah.
Does that count? His deal is not as big as Shohei
not.
Ohtani's
Okay.
now. He is the highest paid player now for a contract player of a professional sport.
That's mind-boggling.
I guess Christmas come early for everybody knows him. When did you get that first down payment of the contract? Like, where does that first check get cut? January 1st? So you gotta just slum it through Christmas?
My question is-
$700 million.
And do you
How
get
long?
side eye at Christmas? Like if he gives you a gift and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're not flying us all the way somewhere in a private jet?
How quickly did the family come crawling out of the woodwork?
Well, I don't know what the story is
You know,
with
like-
his family, but I'm just saying
don't
anybody in
forget
general
me.
who gets
well, you
money.
got enough to go around now.
$700 million? Yeah. Think about it. You could give every person you know in this world $1 million and still have plenty.
Well,
Do you know how many people do you think you know, like on a regular basis, that are in your life? I'm not talking about like, Instagram followers or something, people that you've actually met and know in your life.
Well,
wait, what's the question? Know in my life what?
Like people that are in your everyday, regular, wheelhouse. People that you would see, family members,
But
friends.
finish the sentence. Have what?
How many people do you think that you would know? Like, do you think you have 50 people that you have in your life that you...
Oh, I thought you meant
that
like
you're
just
around?
people that you know. I thought you meant that you know that have, like you're not finishing the sentence, like that have 100,000
No. I'm just saying, like...
well, I already know it's about 84 because we had to narrow down from
Your wedding
84
list.
to 49 for the wedding.
Right.
okay.
Yes.
So you could give 84 people $1 million.
Yeah, I'd still have plenty.
You'd still have like $616 million left over.
All right, I will look into that baseball gig.
Anyway, so enjoy your $5 Starbucks coffee, or maybe you decided after hearing the story, well, you need to save some money and don't get a $5 Starbucks coffee. Just brew some at home for free. That's what I did this morning. That's what I do every day. And nothing ruins me than when I don't smell the coffee brewing because I said it on the program, like, oh no, did I forget?
Oh, please don't, because
Why are those 4 minutes so long?
we just don't need anything in this building that's going to make the place hotter.
I know, it's 155,000 degrees.
You don't
in
need
here.
a boiling kettle when it's already
very
90 plus
frustrated.
degrees in the studio.
I'm very frustrated. Okay, speaking of lots of money, as we know, Taylor Swift's tour made her a billionaire, took her over into the billionaire stratosphere because of all the money that was made on that tour. And now the Eras Tour itself has already grossed $1.04 billion. It didn't just put money in her bank account to push her over a billionaire status. The tour itself is a $1 billion tour. And December 13th, in 2 days, she's releasing it on social and on all the streaming platforms. So I think it's Amazon Prime, actually, for you to be able to watch the Eras Tour. Because right now, I believe Netflix has her stuff. And it's the last one she's got is, the Reputation Tour. But by the end of the tour, when she's done with the global leg of it, she comes back around for the domestic second part of it. It will have made $2 billion
$2 billion.
for Miss Swift.
Oh, my God.
She has sold 4.35 million tickets to 60 shows, and she has generated $200 million in merchandise sales that she has pocketed. So imagine how much more money has been generated because everybody sees that guy walking down the Feeder Road 610 with some hot T-shirts they made somewhere in a press somewhere, and they got nothing to do with the real merch, and they're selling them for like $15-20.
Yeah.
And all that's going in that guy's pocket.
Oh, that was the funny. I didn't get a chance a week ago at this time. I'd just gotten back from New York. I went to go see the Final Kiss concert. You know, I've said that a million times on the air, but when I was leaving Madison Square Garden, all the people that were scalping those counterfeit T-shirts out front,
Yeah.
they were trying to, they were like, hey, $40, it's 80 inside the garden, I can't do the accent, but
Why does everybody talk like that in your head? Because not everybody in New
they're
York
all
talks
talking
like that.
So I'm leaving, and they're like, 2 for $10. They're just trying to get rid of them.
The previous record holder for a giant blockbuster money tour was Elton John's Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, which came around here, I think, 2 or 3 times. That one grossed $939 million between September of 2018 and July of this year. Taylor's tour is not even over yet. And by the time it wraps up next November, it'll be over $2 billion.
Well, you called it when we first learned that she was launching this tour. She was worth $500 million. And you said,
For sure it's gonna
you
be.
said that by the time this tour is over, she will be a billionaire.
Correct.
And
Thank
she
you.
became a billionaire about halfway through the tour.
Yeah, Beyonce holds the second place spot. Her tour grossed $579.8 million. That's top tours now is what we're talking about. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, number 3, $380 million. Coldplay, number 4, with $325.5 million grossing on their tour.
Wow.
Harry Styles runs at the top 5. Harry
Really?
Styles. It's his first rodeo.
He
with a
doesn't
big
even
tour.
he doesn't even have that big a catalog.
$290.5 million is what Harry Styles made on his tour. Pink's on the list. She's made $232 million. Ed Sheeran's on the list, $268 million. So there's a lot of money to be made. It doesn't all directly go in their pockets. Of course, they get a piece of it. Like I said, that merchandising, think of how much the spokes that come off of those merchandisers, like the counterfeit T-shirt people and, anybody who's making any. Okay, let me tell you how powerful Taylor Swift's everything is. You hear just a little bit of something. Even, is it The Mask? No, another. The Voice is doing all Taylor Swift songs for their 9 finalists. And then last night during Sunday Night Football, there was a commercial for a kids movie. I cannot tell you what the movie's about because it's the first time I saw the trailer, but it's an animated feature for kids. And the very first note of that trailer is from Out of the Woods by Taylor Swift. And any Swiftie would know that. So that ding, that sound, you're like, oh, is there something Taylor happening on TV? No, it's the trailer for this movie. So anybody who can latch on to anything Taylor, they know it's going to be successful because it gets people's attention. And it kind of reminded me of something old school that I had not seen. I think one time I've seen it once. And we talk about it so much. And I decided to watch it over the weekend. It was terrible. The movie Gremlins is horrible.
I told you. It was awful.
The movie Gremlins is stupid. The movie Gremlins.
When did you see it again?
It was on.
Why did you watch
I guess
that?
it was
You
on
wouldn't
Netflix.
like that.
Oh, I would
or-
have definitely watched that.
Listen, when I was a kid, I remember Gizmo being a toy because Gizmo was the inspiration for the Furby, which had people freaking out
Gizmo
in the
was
late
cute,
90s.
but you don't want to get him wet.
Because then all these little fur balls come off and pop, 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 pop. And the fur balls birth into more gizmos who aren't quite as cute and are a little cheeky. And then they turn to those disgusting, creepy monsters, the gremlins.
If they eat after midnight,
then they
gross.
become gremlins. So I'm just thinking, you know what? My husband had never seen Gremlins ever. Tassos had never seen Gremlins ever. And when it came up on the tile and I hit it, I said, you know what? This one's always under the Christmas movie category, but how Christmassy is it? Is it one of those Die Hard, which because it was snowing outside, they call it Christmas?
It's not really Christmassy.
So it is Christmassy. It's all Christmassy because everything about it is snowy. And he buys his son the Gremlin as Gizmo the Gremlin. He buys it for his son as a gift.
Yeah.
And as I'm watching this movie in full play out in the first 10 minutes of Gremlins, I think it was on Netflix. I'm like, wow, that looks really familiar. It looks just like the Back to the Future town. And it was. They filmed it in the same town as Back to the Future.
Which you
It's
can
so
take a tour
obvious.
It's the Warner Brothers tour, and I would recommend you take the VIP tour. It's like a few bucks more, where you get to get out of the cart and walk around, and you can, the clock tower in Back
Yeah,
to the
of
Future. You
course.
can walk right up to all that. It's so much fun. You
Gremlins
mentioned
sucks. It sucks.
Why?
And we fast forward this is stupid. What else happens? Okay, fast forward. Gross. Ew. They're all
What,
slimy,
you fast
nasty.
forward it?
Oh my God. I'm just like Gremlins piece of crap. Gremlins piece of crap.
you definitely wouldn't have made it through the movie I watched last night.
Well, yeah.
then.
Only one person texted they liked that movie you were talking about.
The movie I'm
Julia
talking about is
Roberts.
called Leave This World. and it's
Mahershala Ali's in it too?
Yeah, he's great. I will say this: the acting is phenomenal, but you get all the, it's really long and it's slow, and you wonder why all these things are happening, and then movie's just over, and you get no answers, no explanation.
Somebody said it was based on a book. Hold on.
Yeah, and fans were really waiting for this to come out, but you don't get a payoff. It's 2+ hours, and then it's just over. It's one of those things. You know how The Sopranos ended? How it just went to black? It was one of those
that's what
endings.
okay, I got the text back. It was based on a book, not terrible, but not great. The
Oh.
ending was abrupt. One person said, my wife wondered why there were so many famous stars in it if it's a terrible movie. I mentioned Notting Hill because you mentioned Julia Roberts. I watched that the other day because I haven't watched it in a long time. And somebody said Notting Hill is a movie that is always played at Christmas time in England. That's interesting because it's not really Christmassy at all. There's no Christmas scene. I think he goes through the seasons at one point. 6 months passes and he's walking through the seasons, but nothing about super Christmas. So that movie, I guess, on Netflix does get a thumb down by most of our listeners.
Oh,
What's the name again?
Leave This World.
Leave This World.
Like
So
I
y'all
said,
can leave that movie
acting
behind.
phenomenal, but it's like you get no answers. Like, why are these deer all over the place? What's going on with the teeth? And then all of a sudden, boom! You don't get an answer. It just ends.
And this texter, Gremlins is so great. Quit with your slander.
I'm
When I
reviewing
was a child,
a movie
I
that
thought
came out
Gizmo
on
was
Friday.
the best gift ever. If I got a Gizmo, I was going to be such a happy child, but now that I'm an adult watching this, I'm like, ew, that's gross. Ew, these things are gross.
Why did
It's
that movie
so
come out?
gross. I mean, it's the gremlins are supposed to be like
Yeah, that's why I
But isn't that the movie's almost 40 years old?
Doesn't matter how old it is, Ryan Chase. It's a Wonderful Life is older than that. It still gets repeated every time.
oh
Elf is like 20-something years old now. It's back in the theaters.
No, that's classic.
All right, coming up next, today is December the 11th. Today is also a very important day in your relationship. If you are in a relationship and you are not married, you need to really think hard and fast about what this day means in your relationship. I'll explain next on The Roula and Ryan Show.
Back to the Roula and Ryan Show.
Okay, you guys ready?
Today is December the 11th. Happy Monday to you, Houston, Texas. Here from the Roula and Ryan Show. It's Roula and Ryan and
Special K. It's
Sit
a
back
small
out.
crew today.
Yeah.
skeleton crew.
Yes.
It's good. It's just three versus five. And today is a big deal day if you are in a relationship and you are not married.
Huh.
If you have got your radar up and you're thinking, we've been together 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, 4 years, whatever it is. Today, December 11th, is the most popular day around the world to break up.
Really?
Today is Global Breakup Day.
I feel like it's too close to Christmas to do that.
That's why today is the day. It used to be December 6th was like the bailout day. Because, cuffing season became a phrase because you get cuffed to somebody through the holidays. And you kind of just ride the holidays from Thanksgiving all the way to New Year's with them. And then you got to bail out at some sweet spot in January before you get stuck for Valentine's Day.
I think you need to
with someone
explain
you're
what
not really
cuffing is, because a lot of
Cuffing
people
is
don't
like,
know what that
imagine
is.
you're handcuffed to someone. So imagine you're cuffed to another person. That's why they call it cuffing day or cuffing season. You cuffed yourself to somebody else, and they're going to ride you through all the holiday stuff. You need a date for this. You need a date for that. You need to go to so-and-so's party for this. So cuffing season, that came around years ago. That the holiday season is also cuffing season. And then I thought December 6th was originally the day you got to do all the breaking up before it happens. Turkey drop usually happens Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Kids come back from their freshman year of college who tried to make their high school relationships work and then like, okay, got the turkey drop, broke up there. But now they say the date was determined by analyzing Facebook status updates from around the world. And they found that this day specifically is Global Breakup Day. The holidays can bring up a lot of emotions and challenges for couples. And if you're not that strong or you're not totally in on that person, you're not totally into that person, this would be a day that you're like, yeah, we gotta have a talk. Maybe I can meet you for lunch or.
I don't think I've ever been
Can you
broken
meet
up
for
with
lunch
on
for
a
a big salad
holiday.
somewhere?
Have you guys ever been dumped on a holiday?
No, but I know somebody who was dumped on their doorstep on Christmas Eve and they ended up getting married years later.
Ooh, wait. They broke up and then they got back together and got married?
Yeah, they didn't get back together like right away, but they got back together a few years down the road.
That's exactly what happened
And
to the
they're
couple
married
that I did a wedding for on Friday night. They were
Really?
like going on about that.
Did they mention it during
Hold
the
up.
ceremony?
Yes.
Explain how they went on about that.
It was just in the toast.
Okay.
Like, I'm so glad I found my way back to you, is what one of the
And then
statements
did your antennas
was.
go up and you started asking people, what happened there?
I said,
Just what happened there?
What was a little step away?
What happened there?
So they mentioned
How
this
long
during
were
the
they broken
ceremony?
up?
They did, and this is probably
During
not the
the
first
toast.
time it's happened. How long had they broke? I didn't dig into like when you got a bride and groom there, you ain't going to interrupt them. That's the only thing
Well,
I'm
I'm
going to
just
ask.
saying,
Is what
maybe
song
you
you
as
want
the
next?
DJ, if like the maid of honor came up and asked you for, can you play Baby Got Back? And they'd say, yes, but tell me how long they broke up for and what's the tea on that?
Right.
It's always so awkward. There was the most awkward wedding I ever attended. This is years ago. And the person officiating the wedding, I don't know if he was necessarily a reverend. Probably
yeah,
not.
You don't have to be a reverend.
So we're at this
Kevin Quinn
wedding
is definitely
ceremony.
not a reverend, and he officiates wedding all the time.
Yeah.
Kevin Quinn.
So he's doing the whole ceremony and goes, and then they both had dalliances with other people, but found their way back. I'm like, wait a second. What?
Dalliance?
What? so I guess you're basically saying they both cheated on each other and now they found their way back. I never knew this.
Or is the person
And I'm like, why would you
using
put that?
because the word dalliance does mean you had like an extracurricular
Yeah.
activity in your solid
Why would you
relationship.
put that in the ceremony? That's just
People
so
are crazy.
weird.
It says in this article about today being Global Breakup Day. For anybody not 100% happy in their relationship, it can force them to address feelings of discontent and make a decision on whether they want to stay and work on it or officially split up. They said 3/4 of people in an online survey said they had been broken up with over a holiday. season. So
Well, it sucks anytime, but that's
Yeah.
really in particular difficult.
I bet there's a heck of a lot more people who are 18, 19 years old who have come home for the first time from college, seen what's out there.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And either up against Thanksgiving or Christmas. That's
maybe
when
they couldn't pull the trigger on Thanksgiving, Kevin. And
Yeah.
they're like, all right, look, I got like a month off at Christmas.
I
I'll have
couldn't
to
do it.
then.
I
I'll have
couldn't
to
do
The
it
turkey
then.
drop is very real. Do you guys remember years ago we were talking about it, and I brought up the story about how when I was 20 years old, I got turkey dropped, came back from college, and then the girl actually called up. Do you remember that?
Was it Valerie?
Yeah. She called up and she said, I'm sorry, it was me.
Valerie's the one that
Nice.
broke up with you, or Stephanie's the one that broke
No,
up
no.
with you?
Well, Stephanie was the one that broke up with me in college. That
But
was
you
the
just
one.
said you were in college.
Yeah, well, I dated more than one person in college.
No,
Rolla.
but you're not saying which phase that was. Was Stephanie the one like at the end of your
That
college
was at
career?
the end of college.
Like
Like
that
the
you were
whole.
going to marry that girl.
Oh, yeah, I thought I was going to marry this girl. And then, ooh, that was not meant to be. But, all happens for a reason.
This article says, be honest with the person that you're seeing if you're feeling like maybe this is not going to go your way. Have real conversations about what this time of year brings up for you and how it may impact your relationship. The kind of real talk will only either bring you closer or the person can have a more clear idea of why it's not going to work. But here's what sucks.
That
about
sounds
breaking
great
up.
on paper, but you
Yeah.
know what? When you're being broken up with,
Yeah.
you can have the most sweet, eloquent speech as to why you're ending it. It still means you're ending it, and all you're hearing is it's over,
Rejection.
and you're hurt, and
Because
you're not
that
listening.
person thinks it's going fine, or that person likes the relationship, and you're just like, I don't want to.
I'd rather you just rip the Band-Aid off than some long, gigantic speech as to why we're not together. I'm just like, just tell me, is it over or not?
It is December 11th. If you're just tuning into the Roula and Ryan Show, is Global Breakup Day. If you are in a relationship and you're not feeling it, and you don't feel like it's going to take you the long route of life, then this is a good day for you to. It's not right before Christmas where you're just so cold-hearted, but I mean, we're still pretty deep in the Christmas season.
Yes. If
Have
me,
y'all,
if me and my significant other, just happen to listen to the show together, and I were to get dumped today, I would blame it on y'all. Where'd you get that idea? Let me ask you that first of all.
The Roula and Ryan Show had some things for
Reminded
us to
me.
learn today.
Time for KRBE's Roula and Ryan Show to tell you what's going down in H-Town.
All right, it is brought to you by Duncan. We have a new mayor. John Whitmire celebrated a commanding victory Saturday night against Sheila Jackson Lee, meaning he'll take over for mayor next month. Now, with a population of nearly...
Is it already next month?
Yeah,
It's pretty fast.
Next month, yeah, January.
Swearing in.
Yeah,
New year.
Oh, that's right.
new mayor.
Gosh, it's so weird that next month is like 3 weeks away. I mean,
I know.
the new year is 3 weeks
We're
away.
almost done with 2023. So, with a population of nearly 30 million people, Texas, our driving record really is bad. According to Forbes Advisor, Texas ranks second worst in the nation, not only for drunken drivers involved in fatal crashes, but also the percentage of traffic deaths caused by people driving under the influence of alcohol. Now, Wyoming is number one. Didn't see that coming. But the study also found that 42% of Texans have witnessed either a friend or a family member get in the car and drive after consuming at least 2 alcoholic drinks.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. 42% of us, Texans,
Yeah.
have witnessed a friend or somebody drink more than 2 drinks and get in the car and drive away. And they say more than 2 alcoholic drinks, you should be feeling the effects.
100%. Well, it depends on how long it took you to drink the 2 drinks. Are you at a 4-hour dinner and you had 2 glasses of wine?
Well, yeah, it's
or
2
are you
drinks an
downing
hour is the
2
rule.
back to back. I thought it was 1. Is it 1 per hour? or
2
per hour?
drinks an hour is okay. That's the max you should have.
Yeah,
Anything beyond
I wish
that?
I knew like actual numbers on how much food do you have to consume for like 1 glass of wine or 1 beer to not really affect you, because that's what people do. They go out for a beer.
Your body
and a
will burn off
burger,
2 drinks an
a
hour.
beer and wings. You know what I mean? Like that's what life is about. Sports Sundays are about beer and food together at a sports bar somewhere.
You think it might metabolize a little bit slower? I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. Like, it'll.
Because don't you
it'll
feel like
ease
you would
in
feel
through.
if you had an empty stomach, Kev, and you drank 100%, you're tipsy before, unless if you're eating a huge meal and you're drinking, it doesn't affect you the same way as if you had 0 in your stomach and you're drinking.
No, so like when your mimosa comes for you at 11 a.m.
At brunch time?
at brunch time, your food has not arrived. By the time your food arrives, you're about halfway through that mimosa and already starting to feel a little pissed.
Yeah, you shouldn't be getting behind the wheel of the car. See, this is what makes no sense. So we are second worst in the nation. In the world of Uber, Lyft, all the ride-sharing services, there is no excuse for this. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to add a little something. We have been talking about people running red lights in the last 2 weeks on the
all
show.
the time.
It's gotten so bad. Again, this morning, I always stop right there at the intersection of Westheimer and the Beltway, even when I've got a green light, because I know
because
some
the
idiot
underpass
is going to go
red light
flying
runners
through.
are the worst.
Happened again. Again, why are you doing this? You're hoping to save a few minutes. You're going to kill somebody. And they're not just like
Or
going
yourself,
through it
yeah.
slowly. They're blazing through that red light.
Not paying attention.
Yeah, we are
And also,
bad at that.
let me just give you a little holiday tip. You know, your family loves you, and I'm glad you wake up to exercise super early in the morning in the dark. But if I see one more jogger or one more runner that has zero reflection on, zero,
Bicyclist, I know
yes.
you have it on your bike, but it's not enough. It's not.
No, you need to have it on your personal
on your
being.
clothes.
Yes.
Your clothes.
Please, as a personal message from the players of the Roula and Ryan show, because there's not a one of us on this show that has not come into work and has witnessed somebody running without any reflection. Or be mindful if you're running or biking on a street that curves. Because when you're on that curve and someone's coming even 35 or 40 miles an hour and you're not in reflective wear, life could be over in a second for you, and you've also destroyed the person's life behind the wheel because they did not wake up hoping they were going to hit a pedestrian today. So please, I'm glad that you want to work out and get your mind right
But
before
be smart
the day.
and be safe about it.
Wear one of those vests for God's sake. Go buy one at Lowe's. I don't care. You know what I mean? Just please put some reflective on because we cannot see you in the morning. That is all I'm going to say about that right now.
All right.
Coming up next, it's time for Look at Me Now. These are always great stories that can set somebody in a different path. You know, maybe they hear your story, they get really inspired. Somebody told you you're never going to amount to anything, or you're going to fail at this, or you can't become anything great. And look at you now.
Maybe you overcame something.
That's right. 713-390-KRBE. Against all odds, you have become a success. 713-390-KRBE. We'll talk to you next on The Roula and Ryan Show.